Alright, so we have a little mood light set up and it's late at night, so I thought it'd be more appropriate to read you guys the poems at night just because in the daytime I have a lot of energy. I still have a lot of energy at night, but I just thought it'd be better to do it as an end of the night thing, something you read before you go to sleep. It's not ASMR at all, but it's at least relaxing. And I got a little extra headlight. I have my tea here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but no, you won't. Well, it's kind of red. It's virgin blood. Gotta keep young. Well, this is really hot right now, so I'm actually not gonna take a sip, but it's actually Jamaican tea. So what's gonna happen here is basically I have 3 poems to read to you guys. These are poems. I have maybe about 30 poems that didn't make it into my upcoming debut poetry book. I'm so excited. I can't stop talking about it. I'm so sorry, but I'm just so hyped for it. So there were a lot of poems that did make it, of course, but there were a lot of poems that didn't make it. They didn't make it for various reasons. It was either that it was too personal, or it was either that it didn't fit with the theme of the book. And when I say too personal, it's because there's a theme to the book, and it just felt like some of these poems feel like they could be used in another book if I make another one in the future where it's just about me personally, or it just didn't fit in the book because it was either too abstract or it just didn't. But we'll get right into it. So I did not prepare any notes on reading you guys these poems. I just got it from my bag. I don't even have the bag here. It's somewhere over there on the side, but it's a small bag where I put all the ones that I did not use. I didn't write any poems to prepare for this video just because I want everything to sound organic and to come from me. I'm going to go in depth about each piece, why I wrote it, my writing process throughout it, thought process, the meaning, and why it did not make it in the book, and just other things about the poem that come up to me. So here's the first poem. So this one, I did read them before I picked them, but I did not write notes. So the first one is, my heart, I am the gatekeeper of that thunderous beast, filled with sorrow and a love that runs as deep as the sea. My heaviest burden, the one I can't ignore, no matter how many times I try to close that door. Eyes, the window to the soul, weak but powerful, storyteller when words can't be found, silent yet loud, inescapable but inenticable. Lips, a beaconing entrance, intoxicating and gleeful when meeting another's, soft and tender when kissing a lover. Hands, my Achilles heel, truest weakness, electric currents run through when held, soothed, kissed, can't help but surrender, a safe haven. Soft caressing is like being in heaven. Vagina, wretched fruit of womanhood, obsolete, only in search for lustful pleasures, filled with desire and heat, succulently sweet. So this poem, I wrote it maybe, I want to say around a year and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I wrote this one actually because I love writing poems where it's about the body. And so that's why I first wanted to start off with the heart, because I feel like the heart is the most important organ in our body. And then eyes, because I feel like our eyes have so much power. When you're looking into someone's eyes, I feel like you can see their whole life story if they open you up to it. But there are also some people where you look into their eyes and you can't really even tell what's there, but you know that it's a majestic wonder. It's like looking into an ocean and you want to get lost. And I find it beautiful how our eyes, they are the window to our souls, because our souls, we can't see them, but they're there. So that's at least what it meant to me. Lips, I feel like it's so inevitable. I feel like when you like someone that you can't stop looking at their lips, but it's so hard because you want to not. I feel like people can tell when you're looking at their lips, but it's just, like I said, it's so enticing. I think I said the word wrong earlier. No, that was for a different one that I said enticing, but that's how it feels. Then I put hands, because my hands are the weakest point in my body. It's my arms and my hands. I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like that's where my main life force is. I feel just everything coursing through there. So I felt like I had to include hands in there, because I feel like if I don't have someone hold my hands, that I feel like it's a connection. You're connecting with the other person through your hands. You both have your lifelines on there. So I feel like when you're holding another person's hand, you're holding their lifeline in a sense. And then I put vagina. I did put vagina. I believe when I wrote it, I wasn't sure to include it or not, just because I feel like it's so controversial to mention your genital organs in a poem. But I mentioned it because it's something that I want to not be uncomfortable talking about, if that makes sense. But I also feel like our general, like, sometimes we're overthrown by passion, where it feels like at least from what I've encountered with people, like their thoughts are only about sex. And it's like there's so much more to just having that lustful desire down there. And it's like we're not just our genital organs. That is not all that there is to us. That's at least how I feel about it. So that's basically the whole premise of the poem. And I like this one, but I didn't choose it for the book just because I felt like it was very personal. I didn't feel like it has a place in there. It's a good poem, but it's just that the book has a specific theme where I just didn't feel like it fit in it. So I know I'm going to use it in the future because I definitely like this one. I feel like it was one where I was finally becoming in tune with my body and understanding myself and challenging myself, but it's one that won't go in there. So, but it's still a good one. Here's the second poem. What is this body but a vessel of longing? Skin is a forest set ablaze. I wait for the flames to fizzle out so I can freshly flourish once more. Yet I also wish to obliterate into a million pieces, have fragments of my being scatter along the west coast, be erased from this world, forgotten. My existence is a frail broken bird that I have squeezed to death. So, that one. I'm not sure. I think I didn't choose this one just because it's a very personal one once again. But this one holds so much meaning for me because even just with the first line, I've felt like all my life, I've just felt like my body is longing for so much more. And it could feel like there's like this pull in you that's pulling you somewhere, but you don't know where it's taking you. Like you feel like you're aching and you feel just all this energy in you. It's hard to describe, but you feel all this energy in you, and it just made me feel like what else is my body good for? Like all I do is long, all I do is ache. Like what is this body but a vessel of longing? It just all these questions. I always have questions in a lot of my poems. So that's what it felt to me. And then even with saying skin is a forest ablaze, I feel like when you really love someone or when you feel this passion for them, at least for me, I feel like I'm on fire. Like I feel their presence and I feel their energy, and it's like my whole core is just, my skin is on fire. And I feel like when a forest is set ablaze, it's a fire that just runs rampant. Like it has no control and it burns everything alive. And that's how I feel, at least, where I feel like sometimes that my skin is burning. And I mean, it sounds beautiful and it sounds like scary, but I mean, what can you do? And then I wait for the flames to fizzle out so I can freshly flourish once more. And with that, it's like how it says, I wait for the fire to just do what it wants to do. I let it destroy me. I let it run its power. I let it go, destroy, do whatever you want. And then I'll just wait. I'll wait. And I know that once it's over, that even if it takes a long time, I'm going to flourish once again. I'm going to grow. And there's going to be a new forest here. Like, just because of that. And then the next section, like, I also wish to obliterate into a million pieces. I don't know why, I've always just felt this like fascination with, in a sense, flying. I've always had, when I was a young girl, I've always had a lot of dreams where I was flying, and I was very, very scared because I would be in a dream and I would just be floating up to the sky and I couldn't stop. My body was just flying, and it would fly past the earth and fly into space. And I was scared because I was like, it felt very real. My dreams feel so real. I can't tell when I'm dreaming sometimes. So I would get so panicked that I would start freaking out that I couldn't come down. But then through the years, like mostly into my adult years, I believe, I want to say it happened maybe a few years ago where I had dreams that I was flying, but flying into space, but this not flying into space actually. I had dreams where I was flying, but this time it wasn't something that was controlling me. This time I could control the flying. And I feel like there's a lot of meaning in that because for a long time I was scared of where my body could take me. But then once I got more comfortable with myself and once I got more comfortable with my thoughts and like my spiritual journey, I feel like in a sense, whatever people talk about, but I feel like I felt more comfortable. So I've always felt that longing to like fly somewhere, but I believe it's because I just want to be like, I want to be one with the world. Like I feel like I just want to float up into the sky and like stretch my arms out and hug the earth and be like, I am one with you. It's not everyone feels that way. I'm the only one who probably does. Who knows? But and then I have fragments of my being scattered along the West Coast. And that's because, like, once again, I want to be a part of the world. So if it's my fragrance, then explode me so I could scatter everywhere. But I put West Coast just because I am from the West Coast. So that's why I put that there. I wish I hadn't. Maybe I should have put like scatter along the whole world and nature or whatever. A lot of my recent poems are more like that. But a lot of my old ones do have a bit of the West Coast in it just because I was honoring where I'm from. And my existence is a frail, broken bird that I have squeezed to death. So that I guess has to do with body. I've always, not always, but I felt for a while that I was just this very, not broken person, but I just felt very frail. I felt very fragile. I felt very vulnerable. And I felt like I was the one causing the harm to myself for a long time. So it felt like it was this bird that I was holding that I knew was in pain, but I kept on squeezing it and making it suffer more just because I wanted it to just be over. I mean, that's the whole thing of it. And it's different looking at it now because I don't feel that way anymore, fortunately. But I know that for a long time I did feel that way. And I mean, what can you do? You know, you experience some stuff, you feel the feels, and it happens. What can you do? So the last poem I have is, I drowned in an ocean of all the love I had for you, but instead of pleading for air, I craved more than anything for your touch alone to fuel all the burning fire that embraced me when you were by my side. So I did not include this one into the book because I already have maybe about 5 different poems that are about the ocean. So I was like, I'm not going to include this one as well because it's a very short poem, and the poems that I do have about the ocean are pretty lengthy. We have about 5 different, I want to say it's not more than 5 poems talking about the ocean. So I was like, let me not include that. Let me give it a break. People are going to be like, why are you so obsessed with the ocean? But for this one, I wrote this one based actually off of some old feelings that I had over someone that I used to like. I wrote this one, I want to say maybe 2 months ago, no more than 2 months ago. But I feel like that's what happens sometimes. Like, you love someone and you feel like you're drowning in their love or just them in general, and which I don't recommend at all. But I mean, sometimes that's how it feels. What can you say? Love is confusing, let's be honest. Sometimes I write love poems and I'm like, do I even know what I'm talking about? That's the tea. But let's get back into the poem. So instead of pleading for air, I feel like that's like, even though you love someone or you like someone so much, like, you don't care. It's a ride, honestly. Like, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what's going to happen the next moment. You don't know how they're gonna feel, how you're gonna feel, and you just want to go through it. But I feel like that's what I felt when I was writing. But instead of pleading for air, like, I did not care that I was drowning. I didn't care that I was not dying in a sense, but I just didn't care for what would keep me alive and safe. Because I mean, obviously, like, air helps us breathe. But I craved more than anything for your touch alone to fuel all the burning fire that embraced me when you were by my side. So it's like, even though I knew that I had to plead for air, I wanted them more than anything to be the thing to touch me and to fuel, like I said, fuel all the burning fire in me. It was as well kind of like a memory for this poem, because I remembered that when I would be by their side, that I felt like I was burning in a sense. So that's that poem. But yeah, I didn't choose that one because I have so many ocean poems already. I was like, I don't need to include any more than there already is. But those are basically all the poems. Not all of them, but I feel like I'll share 3 a video just because I don't want to make these videos too lengthy. I want to be able to just, maybe I'll do 3 videos each week. Not 3 videos, I'm sorry, 3 poems each week and share them with you guys. But I hope that you guys will stick around to watch them, and it'll be like a little late night special. I'll have special dimmed lights. I'll have my tea that I didn't drink from, because honestly it's kind of hot in here. You guys saw me sweating at first. Like, I have the window closed just because I don't want the noise from outside to get in. So yeah, you guys could hang out with me. I'll dim the lights, I'll have my tea, maybe you'll have your tea and you'll listen to me read some poems, and maybe then as well you'll buy my book and you'll read those poems, which are honestly way better than the poems that I'm going to be reading on here. But I didn't tell you that. Well, no, let's give it justice. All of the poems are really great, but just that some just couldn't make it. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. But if you like this video, like it. If you want to be notified about when I upload these videos late night, little dimmed light videos, hit the notifications button, because then you could be notified of when I post stuff up, instead of me being annoying and being like, hey guys, I have a video up. But that's just me. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sorry if I talk very fast or I stumble over words, but I'm bilingual, so let's just say that. Okay, so have a good night.